Two sisters had been born with their heads conjoined for 25 years. After finding true love, they decided to separate their heads. To make this happen, a 40-member medical team was assembled at the hospital. According to the scan results, many tissues were shared. Alongside the brain separation, organ transplants were necessary. The entire process had to be carried out swiftly and with precision. Any misstep could jeopardize both of their lives. During the surgery, doctors started by drilling holes in their skulls, and then carefully disconnecting the blood vessels that linked them. Initially, the procedure appeared to be proceeding smoothly. However, as they cut the bridging vein, sudden brain tissue swelling, with blood clots forming in the blood vessels, the doctors had to accelerate their efforts.
My count on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Hear my count. After a series of meticulous maneuvers, their heads were successfully separated. Regrettably, despite the doctor's utmost dedication, one fell into a permanent coma. In accordance with her living will, she chose to forego life support. This story serves as a poignant reminder of how, in the pursuit of our most cherished goals, life may leave us with a lingering sense of sadness. The 15-year-old aspiring model suddenly had a vacant look.
Are you okay?
Then collapsed to the ground. Upon arrival at the hospital, Ellie experienced uncontrollable seizures. House immediately administered an injection to her, but as the medication entered her system, Ellie's heart rate plummeted sharply. After a series of emergency measures, Ellie finally regained consciousness, but she suffered from a brief episode of amnesia. What could be the reason behind her collapsing, having seizures, and experiencing memory loss simultaneously? They conducted a full-body MRI on her. To their astonishment, they discovered male characteristics. This 15-year-old girl is actually a boy. This is an extremely rare case known as male pseudohermaphroditism. During fetal development inside the mother's womb, the male developmental traits were abnormally suppressed and transformed into female characteristics. While outwardly she appeared to be a female in many respects, her male characteristics remained hidden within her body. They had also undergone malignant changes, which explained the series of symptoms she had experienced. Upon hearing House's explanation, Ellie instantly felt overwhelmed.
No, you're wrong. I'm a girl. Look at me. See, they're all looking at me. I'm beautiful.
The girl stripped down publicly in the hospital, all in a bid to prove she wasn't a boy.
No, you're wrong. I'm a girl. Look at me. See, they're all looking at me. I'm beautiful.
This girl was a rising model, blessed with exquisite facial features and a flawless physique. By the age of 15, she had already earned several million. However, during a crucial runway show, she suddenly collapsed. Experiencing a brief bout of amnesia, Dr. House suspected she was suffering from acute stress disorder, a condition rooted in deep emotional trauma. He noticed the girl seemed particularly fearful of her father, so he brought the man into a restroom for a candid conversation. The man eventually confessed to his actions. Seeking a solution, Dr. House arranged for a psychologist to counsel the girl. However, she shifted the blame away from her father. She revealed on that fateful night, she had intentionally gotten her father drunk, and she wanted to manipulate him into feeling guilty. She had resorted to this strategy because her father had relentlessly pushed her into accepting advertising assignments, leaving her with virtually no personal life. Dr. House was astonishing. The baby was born with facial deformities. Fortunately, the ultrasound showed the encephalocele only contained fluid and did not include actual brain tissue, so it could be completely removed through surgery. A piece of skull could be used to fill the gap. However, this baby was in danger as his heart was located outside the chest. The doctor had to open the chest to put the heart back in. This surgery carried an extremely high risk, with a success rate of less than 5%. Any slight deviation could have led to the baby's immediate demise. During the surgery, the lead surgeon found the heart was too large, so Gray asked him to remove a part of the lung so that the heart could fit inside. Although this would affect the baby's breathing, the most important thing was for the baby to survive. The surgery was a complete success. The doctor provided the baby with a small protective armor in hopes of ensuring his healthy growth. The hot lady ordered raw octopus for her husband to improve his ability. He savored each bite, finding it incredibly delicious. However, the man suddenly appeared to be in severe pain. His face contorted, and he struggled to breathe. He was sent to the hospital. His condition rapidly worsened. His feet turned an ominous shade of purple-black. Doctors suspected a viral infection, but just then, the man locked himself in the bathroom. Inside, he experienced a disorienting bout of dizziness. Desperate to clear his head, he rushed to the sink to splash water on his face, only to be confronted with a horrifying sight. His eyes were filled with blood, and even the running water appeared blood red. The bathroom seemed to close in on him as the walls ominously pressed closer. The man screamed, clearly in the grip of hallucinations. After a series of thorough examinations, doctors finally diagnosed the man with hereditary angioedema, but despite identifying the cause, it was too late. The man's heart suddenly stopped beating, and he lost his pulse. His wife watched this tragic scene with overwhelming sorrow, as she hadn't yet had the chance to tell him she was already pregnant with their baby. At night, the boy in the sickbed suddenly rose into the air. He was drawn towards a distant light outside the window, but it turned out to be a hallucination caused by his epilepsy. Since childhood, this boy firmly believed an extraterrestrial being lived inside him, and the extraterrestrial had installed a chip in his neck. His parents thought he had a mental problem. The doctors also found it absurd. It seemed like nobody believed him. That night, the boy did something crazy. He cut his neck and wanted to fetch the chip out to show he didn't lie. Fortunately, the doctor discovered in time and quickly stopped the boy's bleeding. What shocked the doctor, however, was at the site of the boy's wound they actually found a piece of metallic chip. The doctor was left dumbfounded. Could it be that what the boy had said was true? Early the next morning, House removed the chip from the boy's body. It was indeed something not found on Earth. His assistants were instantly puzzled, but it turned out that House was just playing a joke. The thing was a surgical staple. The doctor yanked an FBL from the boy's nose, leaving him utterly astonished. As the boy fiercely resisted, another doctor approached, commanding,
"Stop!"
The boy immediately complied, and from his nostril, they extracted a firefighter. The following day, the boy experienced breathing difficulties once again, and this time, they retrieved a fire truck. As Dr. House gazed at these three peculiar items, a sudden realization struck him. He fetched an electric magnet and slowly inserted it into the young boy's nostril. What emerged was a silver cat, meticulously crafted from pure gold. It turns out the boy was attempting to rescue the tiny cat inside his nose. The boy's determination was truly awe-inspiring. This dude can actually milk. His wife was a bit bewildered, never expecting he had this ability. Just a few days ago, they're all lovey-dovey at their wedding ceremony. The priest tells him to drop those marriage vows. Silence. No words. Total crickets. He just hits the floor like a rock. Upon the examination, the dude's statistics seemed normal. House immediately administered an injection.
Ow!
The man himself was quite baffled. He could suddenly speak again, but how could he explain the fainting spell? House suggested it might be an act and even gave a live demonstration. The woman's got no clue what's happening. And then, it happens again. Dude's back on the fainting train. Every time he tries to stand up, he goes lights out. He's leaking milk like a broken faucet.
You're lactating.
House realized he had a congenital cerebellar abnormality that blocked the flow of cerebrospinal fluid, causing the fainting spells. When the pressure on the pituitary gland increased due to the compression of the brain, it led to him secreting milk. A simple surgery could fix it. This doctor actually brought a pig into the operating room. He intended to use the pig to save a person's life. Such a bizarre treatment method could only be conceived by House. Half an hour ago, the police brought in a special patient, who happened to be a gang leader. He had suddenly collapsed on his way to court. House's initial diagnosis indicated poisoning. His liver was completely damaged, with only a couple of hours left to live. There was simply no time for a liver transplant. So, House had someone bring in a pig. He used the pig's liver to cleanse the poisoned blood of the gang leader, and then returned the filtered blood to his body. Surprisingly, this procedure actually saved the gang leader's life. To show his gratitude, the gang leader gifted House a very stylish sports car. However, shouldn't we be thanking Mr. Pig instead?